What do you believe right now that's making you feel this way? And when you analyse it, you realise how irrational you can be at times.
Every single one of our major customers and minor customers all shut their doors overnight.
It's not sales per se, but the outcome of it is because people get to know you, they get to see you.
Making those efficiencies to maximise service profits as well as just product profits.
When you lose the enthusiasm, that's the point to move on.
Scaling up a business isn't easy. If it were, we wouldn't have less than 4% of businesses scaling beyond 10 employees or around £1 million turnover level, and less than 1% beyond 50 employees. But the contribution that we make as owner-managers to our economies is immense and should never be underestimated, yet it can be a tough gig for all of us at times. And only other business owners truly understand the challenges that we face. And through ScaleUp Radio, we aim to help make things a little easier. We interview guests who have been where you are now and may have faced some of the challenges that you are facing. And they offer their thoughts and advice on what has worked for them, as well as what didn't. And we've also combined many of the lessons from these interviews and also through working with hundreds of owner managers over the last 10 years or so into a practical scale-up handbook that we've called the Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System, or ESUS. And it's for owner managers like you and me as we navigate our own scale-up journey. And you can order a copy through your favourite online book retailer or by going to all the W's, esusgroup.co.uk, www.esusgroup.co.uk. In this episode of ScaleUp Radio, I'm thrilled to feature the inspiring journey of a lady called Sarah Yorke, a visionary hairdresser who's created something called the Stylebook Directory, which is aiming to be a game-changing platform for connecting individuals with their perfect hairdressers for their unique style needs. And from humble beginnings, Stylebook rapidly gained some recognition very early on and with some prestigious awards and caught the eye of industry experts such as Steven Bartlett. And Sarah's determination and the invaluable advice that she received have become the stepping stones to the platform's remarkable early success. So join me as I delve into that impressive progress of Stylebook, discover how Sarah's platform achieved very extraordinary recognition and rapid progress, thanks in part to integrating cutting-edge AI technology and just beginning to do that now. And behind the scenes, she's got a dedicated team, a small team of developers fueling Sarah's vision and contributing to that platform's success. So join us as we celebrate Sarah's remarkable journey of success, determination and innovation in the hairdressing industry and how we tease out some of those challenges that she has had and the lessons that she has learned. So get ready to be inspired and take your own entrepreneurial aspirations to even greater heights. Welcome to another episode of ScaleUp Radio. I'm delighted today to be joined by Sarah Yorke, who is the founder of the Stylebook Directory and Stylebook Education. So Sarah, welcome to ScaleUp Radio.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolute pleasure. And I wish this wasn't just a podcast and it wasn't a video, because you've got that brightly orange coloured background, it's looking so great, and your hair is
orange hair to match. Yeah, bright pink lipstick, little plant in the background. Yeah, setting the scene.
Brilliant. So everybody listening now has got that mental
yes.
image. So what is Stylebook Directory? What's it all about on the education side?
So, Stylebook Directory and Stylebook Education, right, I think I'm maybe better off telling you how it came about, and then you'll understand what it is better.
Okay.
But I've been a hairdresser for 30 plus years, and I'm based in the Northeast, and I moved to Manchester out of my area. So whilst I was in the Northeast, I'd always had a hairdresser. I always knew I had a hairdresser that could do my hair. When I moved to Manchester, I literally knew no one. Well, tell a lie, I knew Bez out of the Happy Mondays and Rowetta, and they were the only people I knew. Rowetta has afro hair, so not the same styling as mine. However, so I literally didn't know anyone. I needed somebody to cut my hair. And I needed a platform for me to advertise my hairdressing skills on. There's so many different types of hairdressers. And then if you go to a salon, each stylist within that salon will be very good at particular things. They might be good all-rounders, but each stylist will have their niche that they specify in. So I like doing bobs, short hair and bridal hair. So if you came to me with long hair, I'd be able to do it, but I wouldn't be the best stylist for you.
Okay.
So I wanted to showcase my skills to an audience of people looking for someone who wanted my niche hairdressing skills, and there wasn't one. And then I wanted my hair cutting, and I wanted it cutting into a 1970s wedge, like a purdy cut, a really difficult haircut to do. So I Googled all the hairdressers in my area, and all I got was what their front looked like, what products they sold, and what the chairs looked like. Nothing about the individuals that work within the salon. So I picked my hairstyle off Google Images. I went to the salon that I chose, what I found on Google. No research on the hairdresser at all. So I went in taking potluck and got my hair cut and looked like Hayley Cropper off Coronation Street when I came out. Which was not the desired look. So any Hayley Cropper lovers out there, I'm not dissing Hayley Cropper. It was just not what I wanted. I probably wanted to look more like Posh Spice than Hayley Cropper.
Wasn't quite purdy that you're after, yeah.
No, and Hayley Cropper is wearing a wig in the thing, so it's nothing against the actress either. So basically, your question was, what is Style Book? So in a nutshell, if you know what Auto Trader is, if you were going to a car, you'd go to Auto Trader. If you wanted a house, you go to Rightmove. And you've got all these search engines just to eat for food, but there isn't actually anything for hairdressers. So what I wanted was Auto Trader for a hairdresser. So I wanted a purdy cut, a 1970s cut. So I went on Google Images and I found all the images. But then I had to take potluck for a stylist. Yeah. So I wanted to be able to find that image, but have the stylist information attached to it. So that when I saw the hairstyle I liked, I could click on that image and actually connect to the stylist that did it, giving me the confidence that I know that hairdresser can do it. So that is what I made. I have no tech experience whatsoever. They called me Silly Sarah all the way through school. I still live up to the name Silly Sarah. I pinch myself every day on how on earth have I got this far. Even being on your podcast here, it's like, how has this happened?
Yeah, well, what a great journey. We'll get into it, but I know you've been shortlisted a couple of times at the Great British Entrepreneur Awards. You've just won Rising Star in the Northeast, I think, haven't you? So yeah, really good journey. So
the first year it was launched, 2020. I launched in November 2020. What a fantastic year for hairdressers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do you know what I mean? I feel like I caused the pandemic with my look. So, I launched November 2020. This is with the directory. And then in 2021, I won Lloyd's Small Business Banking Awards for 2021. And really, it wasn't even, I hadn't even really launched it properly because I couldn't get into the hairdressers to get it launched. So, yeah, I won that one. And then I got an interview with Steven Bartlett off Dragon's Den.
Wow.
I got to speak to him for 90 minutes. And within that 90 minutes, I asked him about investment. And I thought I was ready for investment back then. I was just like running with it. And I asked, he just said, you've got to be cheeky, Sarah, just knock on people's doors, go and ask. And I went, well, go on then. Will you invest? And he just said, absolutely. He said, if you can prove the concept works as well as you saying it is, then absolutely. I just need you to get a CTO and about a 12-page document to prove you've got the data and everything that goes with it. So that's what I've been doing for the past 2.5 years, just doing what you said. I got a CTO and I'm now creating, we've got a full working concept.
So CTO as in Chief Technology Officer, yeah?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, good. So, gosh, conversation with Steven Bartlett. You've had advice from the real top. That's great.
That was my first competition. I mean, imagine me high when I got the phone call about that. I'd already been launched a couple of months. Yeah. And then Booksy, a big, massive global brand, they've been in touch with us about it. And that was all in the first couple of months.
So tell us then, take us through. So the concept, as I understand it, then is we've got a matching service. So it's like, as you said, like your Auto Trader. So any hairstyle we want, we search for it, find it, go like that one, and then we can probably book straight into particular hairstylists with the confidence that they know how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, not all hairdressers do bridal hair. So you could be getting married, not you personally, but you could, your wife or sister or anyone, maybe getting married in Edinburgh and they want a vintage bridal hairstyle. Now, if you just go into any hairdressers, they might not necessarily be able to do that hairstyle. This is not just looking at salons as well, where you can put in, you want vintage bridal hair by a mobile hairdresser within a particular area, and then that mobile hairdresser can come to your hotel.
Right. Yeah.
At the moment, people are relying on recommendations of the hotel, but they don't know what kind of hair you want. They might have a salon in there and they'll just send everyone to their salon, but they might not be the right particular one for you.
Great.
Sometimes you haven't got time to go and have a trial for your wedding, and this is like the biggest day of your life, and you're putting it in the hands. Your hair's one of the most crown of the day. If your hair's not right, it's going to affect your whole mood. So I just cannot believe that this platform has not been done before. I mean, if you think of the audience, the target audience I'm connecting with here, right, one, it's never been done before, ever in the world, what I've done. And we're connecting with all the hairdressing and barber industry and the public. So that's just like massive.
Yeah, well, it sounds great. So take us through how does the money work? How does the money flow?
For a long time, we had salons signing up and it wasn't costing anything because I just wanted to get it out there, get it working. Yes. There's no way people are going to pay to be on a platform if there's nobody on it. However, it has been a bit of a chicken and egg situation.
Indeed,
It's been hard because the stylists don't want to be on there if the client's not on it. I don't want to advertise to the clients if there's no hairdressers on there.
Yeah.
So it has been a lot harder than I thought. So the way we're monetising it, like I say, it's only been 2.5 years, but what we've started is a $9.99 per month per stylist to have unlimited images. So there's still a free package, which will just be an About the Stylist page. If you want to put unlimited photos on there, which is, say, you graduated bob, you tag it with what colour it had. You could be L'Oreal, you could have great length hair extensions. You can tag your brands. The images that go in your profile, personal profile, will then be found on the home page. So on the home, anyone goes on it now and looks on the home page, you'll see 9 different categories: short colour extensions, barbering, special occasions. You could just be looking for inspiration for a short hairstyle. You can click on the short hair category and it'll just bring you up a page of images, just like you see on Google Images. And any of those images you can click on and it will take you straight to the profile. Now, all them images are on there by stylists who are paying the $9.99 a month. So if you don't pay the $9.99 a month, you're not really getting as much coverage as what you could be. Like, people are finding that they're getting 20% more customers a month by being listed on the directory because Google, now don't quote me on this because this is not my forte, but with all the algorithms, StyleBook has got that many hairdressers on it now that are talking about that much hairdressing and hairdressing words, and there's that many hairdressers in one, that if you're listed on there, your SEO will go higher up the rankings now on Google because the platforms get busier.
Okay, great. So you've got this struggle, which is a very common struggle with where you've got to build the two sides of the market in parallel, the chicken and the egg as you described it. So you've got an offer that's getting the stylists on board. How are you building up the audience then in parallel with that for people?
So we've just brought another offer out as well. It's for salons. So a salon can sign up and now pay for a group of stylists, which cuts their cost to half. It works out. They pay £60 per stylist for the year rather than £10 a month. It cuts it down to half, and then the salon has the full control. So how I am, I am literally doing this all by myself. My CTO and many others in the tech world can't believe I've got it to as high a level as I have by just doing it by myself. But I've connected with all the hairdressing groups on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm constantly sharing. I mean, I didn't even know I had social media marketing skills until this. Yeah. So when a salon or a stylist signs up and they pay on a paying platform, then I hammer the social media sites in their area.
Okay.
So where I am in Bishop Auckland, there's lots of salons and stylists on here. So what I do is then I'm always putting ads out for StyleBook to attract clients to come to the platform and look for stylists. And like, oh, wow. And the feedback I'm getting is like, I can't believe this existed, especially for proms. We've just had all the proms using it. So, yeah, at the moment, with no marketing funding or any investors behind me, that's what I'm doing. So the potential when we get to the next level is just going to be huge. It is just going to go boom at some point. If it wasn't, I would have packed it in a long time ago because it's really hard work.
So what sort of stage are you at now then? You know, what in terms of numbers of numbers of stylists or people using it?
So we've got on the colour section, we've got over 3,000 images. Right. We've got over 1,000 stylists listed now across the country. There's little pockets coming up now from all over everywhere. The other stage is which I'll speak to you about in a second, is going to be the influx. But we've just had something which is hot off the press. We've just, with the Manchester University, the AI Foundation have used StyleBook as part of a project, and we will be the first in hairdressing history to have AI adapted to our website. So, which is going to enable, so you might see a hairstyle you like, you could scan it, upload it to my website, and then we will find the nearest hairstyles like it that are available.
All right. So instead of having to trawl through myself and go, no, that's not that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then it will connect you. Then we can even adapt it down to right. So that's the right style, but now you want it within a certain area by a mobile or a salon barber or stylist. Yeah. And it'll just start, which means the stylists aren't going to have to list they're not going to have to do all the tick boxes of what kind of hair suit. How I describe a hairstyle and how you describe it could be totally different. So that hairstyle wouldn't come up in the search. Having the technology of AI behind us now means that will do the matching. So it could be Posh Spice, for example. That was always a popular one back in the day. It will match you to the hairstyle that is the most similar on our website.
Very good. Okay, so I'm getting a good feel, and you've obviously forged that relationship with the university as well. Yes. Yeah, great.
Yes. So they've just finished it now, so it's up to my tech team now to start adapting it within our website, which hasn't actually been done because it's literally only been completed a couple of weeks ago.
And when you say your tech team, are these people that you've employed in-house? Are they outsourced? How have you gone about that?
I was quite clever, actually, because I've had to go through quite a few developers to get to where I am. You know, people thinking they can do what they could and then they haven't. And then another company went bust. And so I've been through the mill with it. And then we were using a company in Middlesbrough, and they did a really good job. But because it's such a big company, I felt like I was always on a list and something would go wrong with the platform and I needed to do it now. But, we'll get round to you, Sarah. So anyway, the guy who actually developed it for the company left. And I just found him on LinkedIn and went, Tyler, can you help us? This needs fixing. And he just fixed it. So now he doesn't work for me full time yet, but he literally drops everything to help me to get it done. So we've got Tyler, we've got Amara who does all the PR, all the algorithms, all the hidden stuff. When I say stuff, it's because I don't really know that much about it. But she takes care of that. And then we've got Martin Ayrton from Manchester who deals with my CTO stuff. He's there for me, advice, experience, everything. So I'm quite happy not having the experience now because I know I've got a team behind me that will just...
Yeah.
I describe us as like a band. So I'm the lead singer of the band. I'm the singer-songwriter.
You're the front person, yeah.
Yeah. I go out, I'll sing the songs I've written myself, and then the bands, they do the producing and the harmonies, and they make it all come together and sound great.
Lovely. Sounds great. Sounds really good. So how did you actually get started in the first? Because that sounds like you won the competition. Did any money come with that, or was that
How I started originally, it was just an idea just drumming around in my brain for so long, waiting for somebody else to come up with it, and then nobody did. And then I was in my garden one day when I lived in Manchester, and it was business. What was it? Oh, business. Business Drive, is it? Basically came on the radio and said, if you've got an idea and wanted to and need some help getting it off the ground, contact us. I was like, never heard it since. It was like it was meant to be. So I contacted them. They then put me in touch with a mentor, and then they told us to go out and do me market research. I found out that 100% of clients that I asked on the street, had they had a bad haircut, 100% of people said yes. How do you find a hairdresser? Nobody knows. Nobody knows how to find a hairdresser. They have to take potluck.
Yeah.
So that's how the idea got started. And then COVID hit. And it was like, right, I needed £3,000. So first of all, I got my money from a PPI claim to get me rolling.
Right.
It's just like all these things have just like come to me.
Correct.
Then I was trying to get a business loan, which I was going for. And then because COVID hit, they declined because you're a hairdresser, you've got no income.
Yeah.
You sat in the house, so that got declined. I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. And then the good old bounce back loans came in. So I'd already set the limited company up. And obviously they were like, well, how much do you expect to take in your next year? So obviously I was going to say the more so I could get the full 50, got the full 50. And that's what I've used to get to where I am today.
Great. So you've used the bounce back loan. It's £50,000 to help for that initial development.
NBSL have helped with some and Digital Drive.
Great.
That's so no, I didn't get anything off the Lloyd's Business Bank, and just the advice of Steven.
Okay, so what have you learned then from looking back on it from those early stages?
I really don't think if I knew then what I knew now, I would have done it. I'm happy that I didn't know, because I'm happy I've done it. But I think if I'd known back then how hard it was actually going to be, how much I'd need to know about marketing and, to be able to do it myself, because I work Thursday and Friday hairdressing, and that's been my money. I've been paid. Pauline's been giving it 1 minute, and I've been paying it out to Tyler or Amara in the next hand. So to get to where I am now on the little money I've had is just like, so that's why I'm just utilising Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. And I've also got in with VTCT, which is a qualification governing body in the hairdressing world, which I've just been on tour with them lately. But that's on the education side.
Okay. Well, tell us about the education side of the business then. So you've got these two sides to it.
Yeah, there was never planned to be two. I was like, I've gone from silly Sarah the hairdresser to having two tech companies in a matter of 2 years. So what happened is I was going around the colleges showcasing Starbuck Directory. And when, say I was in Newcastle College and the first year group would come on, they'd put all their pictures up of the dummy heads with rollers in, right? Which is great. That's what they should be doing, the learners. But from a client's point of view, go on looking for a hairdresser near them, the whole website's being dominated by these dummy heads with roller heads. Right. And I was like, what can I do? How can I fix this so that we can separate them so the quality is still there for clients and qualified hairdressers, but it's still giving the learners an opportunity. So I then had a bright idea. Why don't I create another website, exactly the same, but the outcomes are different? So the education side is for hairdressing and barbering students from level 1 up to level 2, 3 for hairdressing, 2, 3 barbering. And then I had another good idea. I thought, why don't I just add looking for employment, looking for work experience, and looking for models? So at the moment, if you've got a hairdressing salon and you're looking for staff, it's put a notice in your window, vacancies, or something on LinkedIn. But I don't know many first to third years who go on LinkedIn. So it's like their salon owners are sitting waiting for people to come to them, where now with the education site, which has just launched, they can now go on here. This is a platform full of hairdressing students and barbers. And if they tick the box in looking for employment and employers looking for that, they just go on students looking for employment, and a list of all the learners come up with they can use the profile like a CV. So they can now look on it, tells them what, if that learner is looking to be employed, then they focus their profile around being employed, what they like doing, the timekeeping. We've also incorporated so that the educators, the teachers, can star rate the pupils. So it gives them pupils a kick up the bum, If they're always late or they don't turn up, you might have Sophie, who's really good hairdresser, and she thinks she doesn't need to come in all the time because she knows it all. Well, she'll not get as many star ratings. So when employees are looking there, they'll think, well, her work's really good, but her attendance is down and her timekeeping's rubbish. And it gives them learners the credit who have been putting everything else in. There's also analytics attached to it as well, so the learners can come in the back end and they can see how many times they've been viewed. So it's a social media learning platform which has got all safeguarding on it. So you can't directly contact a student, you'd have to go through an automated messaging service. Right. But it's just that is really taken off.
Okay, so great. So, and are you able to use some of the technology that you developed for the original directory, because it's still a matching text?
We've changed the search bar on the front a little bit different, so we've got now establishment and learners rather than stylists and salons. Mm-hmm. And obviously when you go on the learners, it comes with a list of learners that you're looking for. It could be that you want City and Guilds learners. If you're a City and Guilds assessor, you might want to just say your learners, so you can click on that. But yeah, you've got, and we're listing the teachers now as well, so that if you're a learner looking at the college, you can see what qualifications the teachers have as well.
Okay, and you've still got the salons involved in that, as you say, from the recruitment point of view.
Well, what we do is we utilise the directory for the education side. So we had to do monthly newsletters to the directory, and we're always collaborating the education system through onto that, and vice versa.
Great. So I like that from the perspective that you've developed the original product around the need that you saw, and then as you were talking to more customers, you spotted another group, another need essentially that you could fill by leveraging the existing technology rather than starting again and having completely disparate businesses, if you like. They very much meld together and using some of the core competencies, the expertise that you built up in the first place. Okay.
Both websites have links to each other as well. We've also created on the education side an external educators page. So we've taken some of the stylists from the directory who were wanting to get into education. So they don't have to be qualified teachers or anything. They just go into colleges where colleges can use their CPD hours, have somebody coming in for an afternoon, do a workshop. So it might be someone who does barbering. We have Reese Whitehouse, he does barbering, he's won loads of competitions and he's very good with photography, so he'll come in, do a barbering session, but also go through the social media aspects, how to do finishing off the competitions and stuff like that. So all these stylists from the directory who are offering education platform services, we've put them over onto the education side as well.
Okay, great. So you're actually starting to become a portal for most of what is needed within the hair styling and the salon and the education. So it's almost like a hub that you think to be that.
There's all ages and stages. You can be on there from literally they're starting at hairdressing at skills now. And then once they've gone through the education, we then introduce them to the directory. So as much as I can't put all my energies into everything. So at the moment, I'm concentrating more at the education side because in September, this is when all the new students are coming in.
Okay.
But all the colleges will get a link to give to their students who have newly qualified to join the directory at a discounted price. So we're getting them from grassroots and feeding them through to the directory.
And how does the college have to pay to be on the system as well? How does the money work for the education?
So at the moment, we've got a very big discounted price because this has never been done before. Nobody is actually filling in this gap of the market from starting to career. So this is what we're concentrating on now. Like literally nothing has been done here. And I've got some statistics here. We've got 25,000 apprentices. 25,000 apprentices are joining each year. So that in itself, there's 46,000 courses across the country for hairdressing and barbering skills that nobody's tapped into. So how this happens is the college will join. So says Sarah Yorke's Hair Academy will sign up, and then I've got 60 students, so I will buy 60 spaces. I've also got 10 teachers, so I'll buy 10 teacher spaces as well. At the moment, we're charging £20 per student for the year. Now, the reason it's so low is because I realised that funding's been cut and no college is going to buy into something they don't know nothing about.
Yeah.
But once they realise the need and the necessity for it, because it's helping with careers, it's helping with marketing for the college and marketing for the learners. Once they realise that, then there's lots of different funding they can grasp into. So we're looking at, without their funding, we've got Coleg in Cumbria in Wales just signed up. We've got Newcastle College. We've got Le Fab in Leeds, which is an academy. We've got an academy in Sunderland that's signed up. And then we've got talks with Cumbria, Yeovil, another college in Wales. And then when we were on, VTCT took us on tour in March, and we got people to send in their interest. So we had over 90 colleges show interest for September, but they have to get the funding and then tell us. So who knows how it's going to take off in September.
Well, good luck with it, certainly. So going back to Steven Bartlett, what was he asking you then before he said he'd invest? What sort of statistics or what metrics did he want you to prove?
So I wasn't very pitch ready at the time. And another little thing that was happening, this is how unexperienced I was. So they told us I had to wear headphones. I put my headphones in and all I could hear was this really noisy background noise. And I thought, someone on here is being really rude, because there were some other people on the call as well. And they want to turn the microphones off. Anyway, I'm trying to speak to Steven Bartlett about me concept. So my pitch was going all over the place. And it turned out I had something on my laptop on. So my pitch got on. So he was trying to understand my concept. He was going, I'm not really quite sure, Sarah. I don't really see what the need is for it. And then I told him my Hayley Cropper story. He went, that's your pitch. That's what you need to tell everyone. He went, because you've just told me that. And he said, I've just got a vision in my head of coming out looking like Hayley Cropper. And he went, and everyone will have a bad hair story like you've just said. He said, so that's what you need to tell everyone. And he went, and he said, this is amazing. He's like, oh, wow. He went, if this is what you're saying, and if I've got what you're saying is right, he went, this is going to go like worldwide. So,
but he wanted you to prove the concept before he said he'd invest. So what was he asking you to prove? What did he want?
So he wants to know by the data. So he wanted me to have a CTO, because he said, Sarah, he said, if you came in the den and spoke to me now, I'd just say, well, I can't speak to you. You don't know anything about your business, because you've gone from having a hairdressing business and I'm now up to my neck in a tech business, and I don't know anything, which I admitted I don't know anything about this side at all. So I would need to have a CTO. And even back then, I had Tyler and I had Amara, but not into the full scale as what we are now. I would say we're a full-on team, although they don't work for me full-time now. I don't think it'll be long before they are. And I definitely need someone to do my social media marketing for us. But I didn't want to rush. Well, I didn't want to rush into getting them to invest straight away, because I wanted to show the value of it now.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't even know how to get in touch with them, because it's like there's so many like shutters up. You try and email somewhere and it's like blocked and you get through. So we are preparing a pitch deck for Dragon's Den now. Okay. I'd rather go on Dragon's Den to confront him, because the advertising itself, like it'll get for every hairdresser will find out about it, because all the clients will go, did you see that hairdresser on Dragon's Den last night? So that's we're preparing for that to go on hopefully for next year's show. But I've got everything he could possibly want to know now. And I think we didn't have the education side then. And that's the other reason as well. I want to see how much we get in September from this wave of colleges coming in. And all the support I've got. It should be really interesting to see. Fingers crossed. Good.
And what have you done around the protection side of it, in terms of protecting your idea and the IP around the technology?
I mean, we've got the branding. That's all trademarked. I've looked into doing patenting it, but there's the cost, And I've only just recently found out, because I didn't think that you could patent a tech company, because it's just the same. It is a directory. If you patented a directory, then it would mean nobody could have a directory. Yeah. So it's going to need some specialists to look into what I actually can protect around that area, because I think it's more to do with the tech side of how it's developed. So at the moment, it's trademarked.
Okay. And ensuring who owns
domains
software,
and stuff,
the rights to the software essentially as well.
So I own all of that, and even the AI, and we've even bought all the domains around it. That could be like it.
Very good, very good. So what, if you're looking back over the journey so far, what would you do? What would you have done differently?
I would definitely probably, because I'm not from this world, I don't know what there is available still to actually, I think I would have just done everything just the same still, because building a rapport with the hairdressing community, I don't think anybody else in the tech business would be able to do that, because they wouldn't have a clue how to start. The hairdressers wouldn't be able to relate to the tech people. So I actually think I have to, and it sounds arrogant, but I think I've done it the right way by building up a community and getting them their support behind us, because they all trust us now. And I go to all the exhibitions, they're like, "Hi, Sarah," and I go with all my bright colours on. I look like some crazy woman. But hairdressers all seem to wear black, and I always seem to just do the opposite, so I get noticed everywhere I go. And we've started doing the Stylebook Orange Wednesdays, Stylebook Live, and we support people. Like, I'll do an interview like we're doing now every Wednesday with somebody from the directory to tell us what they've been doing. We've just got a guy, Craig Henderson, last week. He won Manchester's Community Award because he only deals with children with autism and special learning. I mean, I take my hat off to him, because it is so hard just dealing with one person. So we've got so many people with these niches that we're there to help and support. And that's so it's not just Starbucks, not just a platform to have made it more of a community where we support each other. Yeah. We're in the middle of collaborating with GB Hair Team. We've just collaborated with Mataki Hair Scissors, and we're meeting them at Lafab Hair Studio on Leeds, where I'm sort of introducing all these people together, and the community we're getting to support each other. Yeah. Is great. That's what's helping us build it. So actually, I wish I had more money, and I wish I had a team of people that could do the hard stuff that I don't know how to do. I would love to have been able to have created more funding, or maybe it's partnered with a company or somebody who could do the marketing and tech side, so it wasn't me having to pay for it and try and find the money. That's probably what I would have done different. Okay,
it sounds like you've done really well in building that community. So what sort of metrics do you use to quantify the size of your community? Have you looked at that aspect of it?
Do you mean like when we do the live nights, on numbers wise, we're getting between 500 and 1,000 people viewing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And you've presumably got followers on Facebook and followers on
I mean, me Instagram, I've got about 1,200 on Instagram. It's not that much. I could do with a lot more followers. So if anyone's listening, follow us, Stylebook Directory and Stylebook Education. On the Facebook page, I do have a lot more. I think we've got about 3,000 on there, but that I could all do with more, and that's what I could do with help with as well. Getting the marketing is what I need the help with. Yeah,
very, very, very good. And how about the cash side then? Because it sounds like you had the confidence to take a bounce back loan and take. I think you said 50,000. You got the 50,000. So that again, how have you managed the cash flow in that? As you said, you went through the lockdown bit where you weren't able to earn as well.
So I mean, the education side, so we've got income coming in now from the directory. It's not thousands by any means, but both sides are starting to take care of themselves, so I'm not having to get Pauline's money offer to go and pay somebody else. I can now start putting my hairdressing money back into my hairdressing business. I would say it's ticking over itself now, but I mean, it's still, the potential is phenomenal. Like, if this goes to the extremes that I'm hoping it does. But yeah, at the minute, it's just haven't had to start paying my bounce back loan yet. So that's that's a bonus.
Okay, yeah, fair enough. Good. You talk about the potential is huge. Now, what in your wildest dreams? Then, what does what's your legacy? What are you trying to leave? What are you trying to get to?
But I want this to be like the Facebook of hairdressers.
Right.
Or the auto trader for hairdressers.
Yep.
Now, I am not going to get that to. I don't think I'll get that to me on. But Amazon did and Facebook did, didn't they? But you never know. I think what I would like, or where I see this going, is like it's anybody in the world is looking for a hairstyle to go straight to StyleBook. It's like the other week I went and bought a new car, and I found my car at a garage in Nottingham. There was no way I would have known about that car in Nottingham had I not been on Auto Trader.
Yeah.
And I feel like StyleBook is going to become the directory where every time somebody wants a new hairstyle, they go straight on StyleBook because they know that they can. And if you're not listed on StyleBook, then you're going to miss these new clients because your clients are going to be using it and going elsewhere. And if you're not on, then you're going to miss the new clients coming to you.
Yep. Yeah.
I've had a lot of hairdressers at salons saying, well, I'm not going to put my hairdressers on because other hair salons will see them and want to take them. Well, if other salons are not going to see them, neither are their clients. So, if you've got a fantastic hairstylist, the thing you need to do is push them out there to the front, show everyone how fabulous they are.
Yeah.
Treat staff well and they won't leave.
Absolutely. Very good. All right. And what do you think going to be some of the big challenges that you're going to face in trying to get to that next step? You already talked about the fact that you're looking to go on Dragon's Den to maybe build maybe get some investment, but also build the awareness.
The worry I have is me. It's me in the fact that not am I good enough, or I worry that if it got to a certain size, how do I cope with that? But I'm presuming by then I'll get the right team. So it's about finding the right team behind us. It's about getting the right investor to come on board. I'm frightened that somebody just offers me a load of money and I don't know what to do with it. It's like, do I get a marketing company to come in with us? Do I get the cash and then employ a marketing company? So I think it's that unknown going out of my hairdressing comfort zone. I mean, I do have Martin and I do have Tyler and Damara that helps with all this, but I would say that's what gets the anxiety on my butterflies going like, oh God, what if in September I do have all these 90 colleges sign up? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, how do I cope with it all? Yeah. That's me. That's what makes us nervous. But obviously it's a really good nervous to have.
Absolutely. And, you look, as you said a little bit earlier, if you known at the beginning all of the hurdles you were going to have to overcome, and I think you're like you that might have put you off, but you've overcome them. You've done it bit by bit. You kept moving forwards, overcome each challenge as you've done it, got yourself to where you are. And I'm sure equally, yes, there's some mountains you're going to face moving forwards, but you keep moving forwards, keep addressing what you can see in front of you, thinking the way that you're doing, identifying where you might need some extra help. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sure you'll stand a good chance of getting there.
I was just in the gym this morning. I was there with my friend and I said to her, and I just said, oh, I just wish it was further on than it is now. And she was like, Sarah, you've only been doing this 2.5 years. Just look how far you've come in that 2.5 years. If I thought 2.5 years ago that I would have won the Lloyd's Business Banking Award, I got Business to Business and Rising Star Awards and the Startup Awards just gone, and then being placed as a finalist last year and this year at the Great British Entrepreneur. I mean, when I found out I was in the finals for the Entrepreneur Awards last year, I was in the wine aisle in Tesco buying a present for someone. And I got I read the email. I was going, oh my God. I was like walking up and down with the trolley, up and down the wine aisle, like crying with excitement, thinking, I can't believe it. I was thinking, yeah, I've got the right person in the shower. And then disappointingly this year, I was just like, oh yeah, I've got through. It's just the extreme of just like, oh yeah, I'm through again. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to go this year. Oh, it's like, as Steven Bartlett once said on his in his book, And we found 75 pence down the back of his chair in a kebab shop and was elated because he had no money. And then a few years later, he gets a phone call to say he's hit so many million or something, and he just wasn't even like bothered. The euphoria of me getting that money from the brand, it's the little things when you start out, isn't it? Those are massive that you start to lose appreciation for. And I just have to keep reminding myself how far we've come. And did I ever imagine in my wildest dreams, coming from silly Sarah at school, to winning on the awards, like the Startup Awards, Rising Star. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. You should have seen my face. I thought I was going to win one because I was up for 3 awards. And I was up for the Rising Star Award. So I thought, you must win one to get in the Rising Star Awards. But I did not in a million years think I'd get the Rising Star Award at all.
Brilliant. Well, very well done. And it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. It's been a real treat for me. So thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
Are you up for a couple of quick fire questions just as we close?
Yeah.
Great. So if you could go back to your younger self, what advice would you give yourself?
Stay the same.
Brilliant.
Don't change.
Love
you
it.
are absolutely enough, and everything you are is fine.
Great. You've mentioned Steven Bartlett's book already. Any other books or podcasts or learning resources that you found particularly useful?
The Startup, the Lean Startup? I've read that one. That was good.
Yep. Okay. Great. Excellent. Obviously, your own technology, your own software, but any other apps that you make use of that you found work well for you?
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I know it's an obvious one, but for the connection.
Yeah, and all the social media.
Clubhouse as well. Clubhouse was good in 2020. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Very good. And who's? I think I might know the answer to this question, but who's had the most influence on you as a leader?
Steven Bartlett.
Yeah, that might be.
You know what? I know it's so cliche. Like when I was writing the Entrepreneur Awards, I was like, who's your leader? Mind you, they did ask us, who's your inspirational entrepreneur for my application? And I put Eddie of Absolutely Fabulous because she's the most relatable. Although she's a fictional character, she is an entrepreneur. And I see myself like her so much with the bright colours and like to go out partying at the weekend. And yeah, so Eddie of Fab.
Well, and the wine aisle in Tesco's then.
Yes, that's me.
All right, brilliant, good. And what is your most successful marketing tactic? In terms of finding more customers, what works for you the best?
Having a rapport with my community.
Right, the community.
Yeah, building a community. So I've now got a community who everybody knows us. If I'm not joining different groups on Facebook and Instagram, they all know who I am now. When I share anything, I share somebody else's. So like they might have a profile on Stylebook and it's Andrew Barton's a celebrity hairdresser. So I will share his stuff. He then shares it on and he's got like thousands. Oh, I did meet Noel Gallagher as well. I got him to hold me business card. I got talking to him in the nightclub and I was going, come on, Noel, you must be able to do something for us. And he was going, give us your business card. So I gave him a business card and he had some photos taken with us. And then he shared it all over his platform, which I think he had like nearly 1 million followers and stuff. So yeah, I take my business cards everywhere and if I see anyone famous or anybody high profile, they get a card to get taken a picture of.
Well done. And I can well imagine that nobody's going to turn you down, Sarah.
No, Vernon Kay's up there, Craig Charles. There's quite a few now.
Excellent. Love it. Very good. Okay, so if people would like to get hold of you or find out more about the Stylebook, what's the best way for them to do that, Sarah?
Right, so you can go on the website, which is stylebookdirectory.com or stylebookeducation.com. I'm on LinkedIn at Sarah Yorke. Again, Stylebook Directory. I'm on Instagram, Facebook at Sarah Yorke with an E as well, by the way. Sarah with an E, Yorke with an E. Or my email address is sarah@stylebookdirectory.com. I'm quite easy to find.
Brilliant. Well, I hope people do reach out to you as a result of listening to this. And thank you very much again for being my guest on ScaleUp Radio today, Sarah.
Thank you so much. Loved it.
I hope you enjoyed that discussion, and if you're building and scaling your own business, you might well be interested in our book, The Entrepreneurial Scale-Up System. And it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a practical handbook around scaling a business in a structured way, and you can order a copy on all your favourite online retailers, including an audio version, or you can find it and other supporting resources on our website, www.esusgroup.co.uk. That's esusgroup.co.uk, which is esusgroup.co.uk.
This has been a Monkey Pants Productions podcast.